Hey guys, what's up? Constantine here. Another week down, another top 10, top 11 maybe. So, gonna go right into it. We rambled a little bit last video. I'm not gonna ramble as much this video. Is it a ramble if we're talking about rambling? Yeah, we got caught in there. So, top 10 most frequent animal encounters on trail. And we love this list because coming in at number 1 is cows. And it's not just because we love cows. When you're doing these trail systems, the Appalachian Trail, the Pacific Crest Trail, the Continental Divide Trail, a lot of sections, and when we say sections, we mean multiple hundreds of miles, you are going to see cows. They're grazing on public lands. You're walking through public lands. You're going to share a lot of that trail with cows. So nice. It is a beautiful experience. You're going to sleep in cow pastures, get water from cow sources. You're going to wave to cows, and you're going to say hi to cows because cows are a regularity on trail. CDT, we saw them almost daily. PCT, not so much. AT, not so much daily, but you'll still see them. You'll still see them very frequently. And even on more lesser known trails, PNT, IAT, cows daily on that trail too. Cows, you don't picture them, but they are a regularity of trail, and it is a beautiful thing. So beautiful. We could go on to cows for the entire rest of this video and still never be done about talking about them. So we'll just give you that. Number 1 is cows because you're all going to see them a lot. And a lot of people don't think about that, but it is such an awesome experience to see cows. Number 2, is this really an animal? Yes, it is, because when these animals congregate enough, it becomes a physical manifestation that you could literally pick up. Number 2, mosquitoes. When mosquitoes get so thick, it is like you're in a cloud of them, and we count them as an animal. Wisconsin counts them as their state bird. So you know what? Mosquitoes are on the list as number 2. You're gonna run into those on any through hike as well, because as you're doing a through hike, you're having to walk through mosquito infested territory when it's their season for hatching and spawning. Sometimes you may be trying to outrun them all day, and then other days you may have 1 or 2 bites. So it's not consistently all day every day, but they are out there, and be aware that they are out there, because mosquitoes are a real thing of trail. And yeah, there'll be different feels of them as they pick you up and you start hovering above the ground, and then there'll just be different things. So mosquitoes. Number 3, birds. So birds are a regularity of trail, and we went very generic with it because it's a very generic thing. When you're doing long distance trails, you're going through so many environments that to see one bird, it would be too hard to specify that. There are thousands, hundreds, thousands, millions might be too much, but there are birds absolutely everywhere on the trail. You wake up with them, you go to sleep with them, you walk through the day with them. They're flocking from tree to tree as you're flocking from mile to mile. So birds are number 3 because they are a consistency out there as well. And look up into the trees. If you're in an alpine environment, you may be able to look up and see a vulture circling you, because they know that you've not had water for a while. So no matter where you are, there are going to be some type of bird out there. Number 4, squirrels. And squirrels, believe it or not, have been some of the most dangerous animals we have encountered on trail. This comes back to Southern California, where the pine cones were the size of our head. And we had this one squirrel. This happened actually a few days, but there's one specific squirrel that followed us for at least half a mile in the treetops, biting off pine cones and dropping them close to our head. It did not like that we were in its environment, and it voiced that dislike by trying to bomb us with pine cones that would knock us out like a coconut. That's actually dangerous. With the size of these pine cones, if you all been to Southern California, they're nothing to joke with. So squirrels, you will see them in the trees. Watch out for them because they're sneaky up there. But you also see them up on the ground. You'll see them in the brush. If something's moving, it's a squirrel, a chipmunk, some type of rodent out there. So squirrels, you will see them on trail very frequently as well. Number 5, love this animal. Don't love that it eats our stuff. Marmots. Love marmots. We had a going joke again on the PCT of marmots, and I don't know where it came from, but this joke began to evolve into, when you'd ask hikers what their base weight is, we would always have to add a specification on there of, do you mean with or without the marmots? Because base weight without the marmots is super light. Base weight with the marmots, way too heavy. So Marmots, you're going to see them in high alpine areas, on the PCT, on the CDT, on the PNT, on the GDT, and a lot of acronyms getting thrown your way, but it means that marmots are out there a lot, and sometimes you'll hear them first. They'll make these little chirps and go kind of burrow into their rock hole or their little nest, but they're really fun to see. They look super cute. They can be aggressive though, so be careful, and they will eat the cork on your trekking poles, and they will also eat stuff in your tent because it's salty and they want that salt. So marmots, be aware of them. Okay, second half of the list, we're going to move into bigger animals because we could stay on rodent families, birds, a lot of the smaller animals that are very, very prevalent on trails, but we don't want to just give you all the smaller animals. We're going to get into the bigger type of animals. So number 6 is elk. And elk, these are very, for such a big animal, they're very mysterious creatures. You'll see them from a distance a lot. A lot of the time in Colorado, you'll see herds of them. You'll see 10 to 20 at points, and usually, if not always, it is from a distance, but you'll still see a good amount of them, and you'll follow their tracks, and you'll see their tracks pushing through the brush as well. So elks are out there. It's very rare to run into them close, up close and personal, and we have, simply because we've spent so much time on trail. We've been about 10 feet away from an elk, and it's just stared us down, and they are massive creatures. For how big they are, they can move super, super quietly. So elk, they're not dangerous, but be aware. If you surprise an elk and it runs at you, hide behind a tree. It's not going to be a pleasant experience. They are massive animals. Majestic, massive, beautiful, wild animal. Treat it as such. Number 7, kind of same boat. Boot. I'm going to say boot because I'm going to go up to Maine real quick, which they're not only in Maine, but that's where I'm going to go in my mind. Number 7 is moose. And that's where we actually saw our first moose in our entire lives, up in Maine on the AT. And those are kind of mysterious animals as well. They really don't want a lot to do with humans. Especially in Maine on the Appalachian Trail, there's so much human traffic, but they've kind of got a sense for where that trail is. So they might not be as prevalent on the Appalachian Trail, but on the Continental Divide Trail, you are going to share the trail with moose almost daily in Colorado. You're going to share the trail with moose up in Montana. On the GDT, share the trail with moose up in Canada at all times. On the Pacific Northwest Trail, you're going to share trail with moose. And beautiful creatures, beautiful, beautiful creatures. Again, wild animal, giant, huge antlers. Be careful. If you get close enough and they don't like it, they will start grunting at you. It's like a guttural, not growl, but it means back away. And we have had a couple instances that we've walked the trail around a blind turn and popped up on a male moose and 2 of his females. He wasn't happy, I'll tell you that. So we had to backtrack and go up and around the mountain to get back down because he was standing his ground and not going to move. So moose, super friendly for the most part until you've gotten too close, and it's not like we specifically wanted to get too close. That's the way the trail took us. So be respectful of all animals. Be respectful. Yeah. So moose are really, really cool. Number 8, another very stealthy animal, mountain lions. We put this on this list because even though if you may not see them as frequently as some of the other animals on this list, you can guarantee that if you have spent any prolonged period of time out west, they have seen you. Multiple of them have seen you. Maybe 10, maybe 20, maybe even 100. You can guarantee mountain lions have watched you hike by, and they could be a mile away, they could be half a mile away, they could be a quarter mile away, and in Glacier National Park, when we ran into ours, they could be 10 feet away. So mountain lions, while you may not see them as one of the most frequent animals on trail, they will see you as one of the most frequent hikers on trail. So that's why we had to put that in there. Mountain lions, again, with big animals, be aware of your surroundings, listen. They're ambush predators, so for the most part, they would surprise attack you. If you see it, you're most of the time in the clear. Don't be foolish, don't run, don't do stuff like that, but treat it with respect and realize you're in its environment. And don't be worried when I say all these mountain lions see you, because for the most part, they don't want anything to do with you. They want to go about their life. You want to go about your miles. Don't worry about them, but be aware about them and be respectful of mountain lions. Number 9, snakes. Oh, yes. desert snakes. You will walk by many snakes on trail. In the desert, rattlesnakes. Don't step on them. You're not going to have a good time. You will not have a good time. Listen for the rattle, because it is there for a reason. It is telling you, don't come near me. Or it is telling you, you are too close. Or it is telling you, I'm about to bite you. Listen to the rattle. And rattlesnakes aren't the only ones you'll see. You'll see gardener snakes. You'll see king snakes. You'll see many varieties of snakes out there. Like any animal, most of the time that a situation will occur between hiker and animal or person and animal is when you've surprised it or you've gotten too close for its comfort. So be respectful of their space. If they are making a noise at you, back away. That noise is there for a reason. And beautiful creatures, but poisonous, and a bite will hurt, even if they're not poisonous. And you also don't want a snake to get a taste for human flesh or hiker flesh, because that's one rabid snake you can't put down. So snakes, that's why they are number 9. And we had to put it on there because everybody talks about it and everybody thinks about it. Bears, they're not the boogeyman of the woods. They're gonna come into your camp, grab you from your tent, and go run off into the woods with you. They're not gonna do that. Bears are out there like any animal, walking in their domain, walking in their home, and they're traveling down the path, and you may see bears. Appalachian Trail, you'll see bears. Black bears. Pacific Crest Trail, you'll see mostly black bears. Continental Divide, you're starting to get into grizzly country. The type of bear kind of dictates the situation when you run into that type of animal. Black bear, they're just very curious. It's also hard to define what you should do in that situation. Every time we've let the situation dictate what we do, if that makes sense. Sometimes we made a lot of noise because that bear looks like it kept coming towards us. Sometimes we've made no noise at all and kind of just looked at each other. The bear looked at us, we looked at them, and it was kind of an unspoken language of, we're just doing our thing. Hey, we gave you a quick acknowledgement, we're going to keep on. Grizzly bears, same thing. We ran into grizzlies, we've made a lot of noises because they started to act aggressively. Some grizzlies, they've looked at us, instantly ran. We've never had eye-to-eye contact with a grizzly this close, like you and us are talking right now. We've had close contact, but if a grizzly starts eyeing us down for too long, it's going to be an interesting scenario. But bears, we had to put it on the list because you're not going to see them every day on trail. You probably will see them on any trail system you do that's a long distance trail. But they're the part of the environment you're in, and if you act responsibly, act safe, they're not going to want anything to do with you. They might sniff out your food. That's about it. There has been instances that bear attacks have happened, and we like to call them bear surprises because most of the time they're not specifically attacking you. They want what you smell like. They want what your food smells like. So bears, we keep on going back and forth with this, but for the most part, what we're trying to say is you do not have to worry about them. Be responsible, be safe, be respectful, and let the situation unfold as it does. Don't put too much worry beforehand. Go into there and know going in, and let the situation dictate what's happening. Let the trail dictate what's happening. Number 11. Oh, secret number 11. We love to put this on there. Porcupines. So chonky and so cute. We keep having this joke that if we love a porcupine enough and the porcupine loves us enough, when we give it a hug, its quills will just be like soft feathers. And of course it's a joke because we respect wildlife too much to try to interfere and touch a porcupine. But we just think they're so cute. They're so chonky. Their cheeks are so chubby. Everything about a porcupine just makes our heart smile so much. As you can see right now, like we're just thinking about them and we love it. You'll see porcupines a lot up north on the GDT. Pacific Northwest Trail, you'll see them. Northbound parts on the CDT, PCT, you may see them. So they still hit the list because you will see them out in the wild. And be careful, if you park a car at a trailhead, they'll try to eat your rubber tires. So be careful with that. But porcupines, we love them so much, just so chonky. We just want to hug them. But we won't because they're wildlife. But we just want to hug them and see how fluffy they are. Okay, we're going down too far of a road. Secret number 11, porcupines. All right, guys. Well, that's the top 10 most frequent animal encounters on trail. Thanks for watching. We really love it. doing this, as we've said time and time again. It's fun talking about trail before trail. So if you love this stuff, please let us know. We would love to hear from you. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever feels right for y'all. And if you really love this stuff, head on over to our Patreon page, where it shows you behind the scenes. We are now in that month window right below until 2021, our biggest hiking year yet, 8,000 miles. Our knees already hurt. We haven't done one of those miles and our knees already hurt because they are anticipating what's coming. So check that out if you want. These next couple days are the last day of our sale over on 11 Skies to get you guys right for the holiday season, get you guys ready for hiking season 2021 that's coming up. So have a few more days of that going on. So go check out our gear and support a company that was built by thru hikers, product tested by thru hikers, been on trail year in, year out, and that's what our passion is and that's what our work is. So check that out if you want. And it's gonna be New Year's here shortly. So happy New Year's, happy holidays. Hope you all are having a safe and making the best of the holidays as you can this year. It's a wacky experience, but we all need to do what we need to do. So love y'all. Cool. Peace.